It was a hot, humid summer day when I walked into the bustling kitchen of the restaurant where I worked. I was a hot mess. I'd been rejected by my long-term boyfriend, and I was feeling hopeless, insecure, depressed, and I was drowning out my misery with alcohol and men. I'd given up. I didn't care what happened to me. "Hey, what's up, Lori?" said a coworker I didn't really know. "Yeah, you don't want to know." "Oh, but I do know," he said, and he proceeded to tell me everything I was struggling with, including my secret sins. Wait, what? How did he know that? I stood there shocked and ashamed, and yet with love in his eyes, he looked at me and said, "Lori, man, God must have some amazing plans for your life, for the devil to be working so hard to screw things up." I went and stood by the dishwasher, so confused and filled with emotion. "You mean I'm helpable? You mean this isn't all my fault?" It was like a ray of light that burst forth through the darkness that had been engulfing me, and it gave me just enough hope to get me to the next day and the next day and the next day. And within a few months, I found myself in a beautiful Swiss chalet with Youth with a Mission. Now, to be honest, I went there a hot mess and only went to get away from my problems and find some cute boys. But on a cold January day, I had a very simple and profound encounter with God the Father that started to change everything. You see, I saw myself as a little kid, and he threw me up on his shoulders, and we ran into a field of flowers, and we laughed and we giggled, and I felt the love of a dad who loved me just because I was his daughter. That's it. That's why he loved me. No longer did I have to drown out my life with alcohol, but I was ingesting his life-giving, sustaining love and joy, and there was no hangover. The Bible started coming alive, and I started learning how to hear God's voice and have conversations with him. You see, like many of you, I grew up believing that God didn't care about me personally or the little things in my life. He just cared if I did all those religious things to stay in his good graces. You know, I saw God a lot like my dad. And even though my dad was a good person, he's not a perfect person. Nobody is. And we go through life with hurts and experiences that develop these negative beliefs about ourselves. And many of you have been hurt by your parents, by people, by situations, by the church. And I understand. I have been through terrible, painful situations, divorce and death and grief and loss. And I've heard the knocking of the whispers of those same lies saying, "You're worthless. You're not loved. You're trash. This isn't the life that you expected. This is hopeless. Just give up." But I made a choice to press into my daddy-daughter relationship and the conversations that I like to call love letters. And he spoke truth and love. And I was able to close the door on those lies that were knocking because my dad was in the house. And this daughter was able to get healed faster, forgive more easily, and love better. And so can you. God is writing a love letter to you today and inviting you into a conversation with him. And he's saying, "Dear daughter, I love you because you're mine. I have so much I want to say to you. Will you come talk with me? Love, Daddy."